Hey, this is Peter Gould. This is episode 309, Fall.
And I'm Gordon Smith. I wrote this episode.
Minkie Spiro, the director.
Ray Seehorn, I acted in it.
Bob Odenkirk, I played Jimmy McGill.
Melissa Bernstein, one of your producers.
Such a funny thing that he bought the shitty cookies and baked
And is passing them off as his own.
You eat many of your props in our scenes. Did you
But I
eat
didn't
these?
eat those. No. They're just way too pre-made for me.
Well, I think those
cookies are for your bomb shelter. those are bomb shelter cookies that 30 years later you're like, I'm so glad I packed these away.
I thought those were gluten-free. I'm surprised.
Here we are back in Sandpiper Crossing.
That is a fine, wonderful actress named Jean Efron. She's great.
Kira
Isn't
Arai
she?
found her last season.
I think
Oh,
she's
season before last.
one.
Season
Season
before
one.
last, yeah.
And is she local to New Mexico then?
She is.
She is.
Initially, she was just somebody to say bingo in Jenny's episode. She was, and we liked her so much that when we had the plot line about finding one of his clients, finding something at Sandpiper Crossing, we were like, she was great. What if we did her?
Oh,
So
that's great.
My God. And she was doing a play after this season. I don't know what it was, but she is an actress. It's not one of those things where she's never done it.
But there was this anxiety, could she hold this storyline? But she absolutely stepped up.
Yeah.
Amazing.
yeah,
And this is she has so much to do in this episode. She's wonderful. And Bob, and I love the way you play this one, Bob, because Jimmy, he hasn't quite
This is
made
the
the
giveaway
decision
right here.
to go as dark as he goes, but
Yeah.
he thinks maybe this will be easy, but he's got a hidden agenda here.
Yeah.
Not very well hidden.
I appreciate
but
the-
she sure can't see it.
I appreciate this shot includes the fantastic set deck of the
So
painting.
great.
yeah.
Who doesn't want one cinder block wall in their house?
Mixed up with all of this. I mean, these legal notices,
So Minkie,
really understand them.
you're not from here.
I've got
Funny you should say that. I thought
You're not from Albuquerque.
No.
Where are you from? Where have you done most of your directing?
I'm based in London, born and brought up there. And I was very chuffed when Melissa and your fine self invited me to come and take part in
That
your brilliant
means
show.
insulted.
Or infuriated, I thought.
But
Minkie is probably you should IMDb her. She has done some amazing work. She's had having quite an incredible career, and we were so lucky to get her for this very pivotal episode. And it's always I will admit it's always a little nail biting to bring in a new director, and you just never quite know. And just Minkie just hit this out of the park, and I was just so happy with the way this one came out.
I love your American expressions, hit it out the park. I remember when somebody first said that to me, I had no idea what you were talking about. So I had to get a translation, which is to do with baseball, right?
I guess.
But once you figured it out, you were chuffed.
I
so
was.
you were quite chuffed about it. Good. This was a complicated episode too, because I don't think we really realized how difficult it was going to be when we were breaking it in the room, because there's just so many moving parts, and we had extras, and we had a very large cast, a lot of scenes, and a ton of locations. This is a practical location, so we were running around from dawn until till midday, sometimes not taking lunch for 10 hours at a stretch, just because we were fighting daylight. This is shot in the middle of January, so we had very little daylight, but there was a lot of exteriors.
And having to work in a working mall where we were only allowed there before it opened.
There were just a number of small challenges that added up to it being a really challenging shoot to kind of keep everyone together.
Are amazing. Bonnie Bartlett is the actress on the right there that you saw.
Of St. Elsewhere.
She's
Among
won
many other
Emmys
things.
already.
And Little House on the Prairie, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those three, Phyllis, Bonnie, and Carol, are just wonderful. They're so beautifully orchestrated. They have three. It's also three wonderful voices. Each one of them has a different is in a different pitch, a different octave, and they're just fun to listen to. They're fun to watch, and they just brought it.
Do you believe you've fallen into a sewing circle, like they go way back and have a shorthand?
And they had never met before. I don't
really?
think. No, I don't think so.
They met on the airplane flying over
Yeah.
LA.
Oh, Saul, getting beat up.
Smells so good.
You're in trouble.
The titles, of course, change each season a
Yeah.
little bit, very subtly.
Sad as can be, but
Where is Mike?
Where could he possibly
What
be?
is happening?
It's,
It's one of my favorite moments.
Did you have to hire someone who had special skills at the bottom that
Yes.
says rides a Segway?
Yes.
The
Stop
guy
it.
came with the Segway.
Stop it
It
right
was
now.
his Segway.
Damn
so
it, I need to do
that's
my
how
special skills.
he did that.
And this is shot in a building right next to our studio, but where they are walking into.
and now it's a different building.
Yes.
Oh, it is?
And
Yes.
yeah,
I wasn't there this day.
this is another location that we shot back in Breaking Bad. But
same office.
There she
Yep.
is. I love Laura Fraser. I didn't get to meet her.
Laura Fraser, just wonderful. And it's interesting. We really felt that waiting room scene had value to bring Mike into this new world, but it was a pain in the neck to shoot because it was because it was a whole different location. Because this office building doesn't have a usable lobby, not a lobby that size. So we had to
This
dress
building's tiny.
Yes.
Yes.
A tiny office.
Why the decision to have a Degas sculpture?
I think that was originally in the Breaking Bad.
It was. I think it was Sam. I think Sam Catlin. I think it was his episode, and he thought that was something that felt like the way that Lydia would conceive of herself as
That's
in
what I was
terms of
wondering.
the
I was like, it's such a
ballerina
modern
of it.
office, and then there's that.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
I've had people talk to me who assumed it was Fearless Girl.
Oh,
from
interesting.
which
From
is
Wall
part of
Street
the Wall Street statue war.
Oh, right.
Laura Fraser, also not from here, like Minkie.
Scottish.
Lovely Scottish actress. This is also in sort of the story terms. This is the first meeting that Mike and Lydia have, which of course we see them much later in their lives in a much different place, kind of worrying about the demise of Gus Fring. But this is their introduction.
I love the way Laura plays it because she was cast originally to be Lydia on Breaking Bad, whose hair is on fire. She is in an extreme state of anxiety from the first moment that we see her, and now we get to see Lydia, a calmer Lydia, but she still seems brittle. Might be a word I'd use. She's still Lydia, and I don't. Laura has just such an interesting way about her when she gets into this character. It's a little bit of a crime that we can't use her real accent because she has a wonderful Scottish lilt, and she is, by the way, if you IMDb her, she's on a British show, which is I believe about crimes at Loch Ness, and it sounds terrific. I've heard wonderful things. I really want to watch that.
Is the end? It's always like, I don't know. These flipper prints lead back to the ocean. I don't know who did it.
Yes, Gordon. That's the end
be.
of every
It
episode.
could
That's
I
be.
why
think
it's so
every
good.
episode, yes.
It could be.
And she's also Lydia's styled a bit differently. Her hair is down, uptight.
Yeah, she even gives Mike a little shit here about working at SMQ parking, which is not something that future Lydia with her hair on fire would really do.
The sooner you're off my books, the better. Justin?
We had a nightmare with the door here. Do you remember it wouldn't close?
Yes.
So we had to keep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that door wasn't really intended to be an entry and exit door, so we had to kind of figure out what to do with it to make it work.
So that actor's laying on the ground holding it right now.
Pretty much.
Is that what's happening?
basically,
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
But that key
Movie magic.
that they have in the door.
Yeah.
But like normally that door, if in terms of this office's normal use, they just lock that door. They don't. So there's not like a latch that closes.
I
You
like
have to
that she
unlock
has
it,
a
unlock
key,
it.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like she's like, no, if you're coming in, you have to
Exactly.
unlock, and you lock every
Yeah.
time you leave.
Yeah.
and it
She's in a
makes-
vault.
I like
Right.
you put
Yeah,
a
no,
good
it
spin
works.
on that.
It is.
Yeah, no, it really feels like a Breaking Bad,
A
Better Call
choice.
Saul choice of like she has a special office. Note, it's from producers. The key is always in the lock. When please have discussion. Half an hour at minimum.
Oh, I love this scene.
Double our premiums on every one of our practicing attorneys.
And again,
it's a great scene where these guys diverge.
yeah, you see Howard's really having, he's really getting fed up with Chuck a little bit here, or he's concerned about him anyway. And
But they're still on the same side, at least as far as we can tell right
Yeah.
now.
Special circumstances, we have been known to extend a rider.
And this is one of the few times we get to see Chuck kind of not seemingly at this moment hurting from the electricity at HHM. He's there and seems pretty. He's annoyed with why he's being called in, but not hurting from that. Notably,
It's putting on a show of
Yeah.
a normal guy.
in a moment, the table lamps are going to be switched off, and I seem to remember there was
oh my god!
was there a problem with that?
Just a little.
Oddly enough, it was very difficult.
It was. I mean, we were trying to get the electricians to rewire them. We tried to find a similar contraption that we could isolate because they're all on one. You couldn't take
Circuit?
one out. Yeah.
Yeah. But luckily they did figure out a solution.
Boy,
that
this
would
is how
work
Chuck
for
goes
us.
through life. He just got to sue you.
Yeah.
Who else is like that?
Well,
Who in the real world is like that?
A
All
lot of
other
America.
lawyers.
Not our president. Oh, wait.
To a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah.
I love the tilt back of the chairs and the shape it makes.
Well done. The lights went out.
Yeah, we managed it. It's funny the things that you get hung up on, and also where's the booze going to be in this room?
We
We've
had
never
to
seen
figure
where
out
the
where
booze
the
was.
booze came from because we'd never
right.
seen it before. A place that would accommodate that.
At this point, I think people should fear when Hamlin brings out booze. It doesn't ever seem to be good things he's going to say to you.
Hey,
Have some bourbon.
have some bourbon.
Yeah.
Totally not the poison bourbon this time. Promise.
Retired now, isn't he? He's a professor at UNM now.
Hamlin, I think, is giving some pretty good advice here.
During Reconstruction.
Absolutely.
100% this would have been a better out for
Fabian
him.
is so great in this season. And
Yep.
you guys gave him more going on, and he gets angry and intense, and he's powerful.
Yep.
What I'm saying
I loved seeing what has been simmering under Hamlin for 3 seasons
Yeah.
come out this season.
partner emeritus.
He's under a lot of pressure. Yeah. Patrick is such a wonderful actor.
Yeah.
It's
And a wonderful person.
Yeah.
he's not. I don't feel like he's.
So with the person.
He
Yeah,
is.
but you know what I
Did
think he
you say-
doesn't get because
What?
he's kind of handsome-y, and
Handsome.
he probably doesn't get what you guys are giving him here, which is where he gets to get really riled up and
You
lay
think in
down
other
the
parts
law
he
and
doesn't get it.
switch from one. Look,
Maybe it's time to sit down.
I think you're
like
right.
all that
I,
little shit,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
I just feel
And
so
I-
sorry for him for being so handsome.
It's a problem.
Do you?
I don't have it.
Didn't
It's a
one of you
real
tell me
problem.
that saying he just said is Vince's?
Oh,
Gordon,
it's
did you tell
totally
me?
Oh
Vince.
yeah.
If
Totally
enough
Vince.
people tell you you're drunk, you probably ought to sit
You ought
down.
to sit down.
Oh, it's
Yes.
one of those room things.
It's
that
it's a
I
room
love
kind of
that.
thing that we
constantly.
comes up a lot.
There's a bunch of them that always end up sneaking into dialogue.
Right.
Look, he's not better.
He's not, you guys, he's not better at all. That doesn't look good. Oh.
I love this line.
Not what fine looks like.
Yeah. No,
That is
Patrick did
truth-telling.
it so well.
And how great is McKean?
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Ever known, hands down.
What I really like about the scene too, and the way that both of them play it is like they both have a point. It's not like Hamlin is just trying to maneuver him for his own end. He really does have a point. Like just retire and be the sort of genius lawyer that you are,
Just
but
take care
for
of
the
yourself.
world, take care of yourself.
yourself
Exactly.
better.
Do not drag the entire firm down with you.
Right.
But that's the thing where Chuck that's his identity.
As
All
self-righteous
the anger.
and as legal-minded as he is, there's no part of him that realizes you should not be representing people in court right now.
Minkie, I love this shot. I just have to
Look
say
at that.
That's
every
fucking
time
great.
I see this shot
Look
with
at
that heel
Yeah.
coming down,
Can I tell you the pain getting there?
You had to move the sun.
Yeah.
Yes.
We actually ordered a Technocrane in, and the head broke down. So I had to find another way to do it because I was not willing to give up on that shot.
It's so
So
great.
It's such a great shot. And then tell them about the oil well. Wow, we showed up and the oil well didn't work. So
Yeah,
then
they-
what did you guys do?
Our pump
CGI.
jack
No, people controlled it.
for the first day.
those are human beings.
Those are human beings.
Yeah, I'm looking out there and I'm like, there's 6 ninjas doing this pump jack, like dudes in black.
They're pulling a rope. It's like
Yeah.
something the ancient Egyptians
So
would have
Yes.
done
Yeah.
to build a
So
pyramid.
were you erasing them?
We
Yes.
erased them.
Well,
Most of those pump jacks, Bill Pulowski, our wonderful
Our
VFX
visual
supervisor,
effects.
most of
put
those are
in.
digital.
But the one that's closest to us
Yeah,
We
was
had
being operated by human beings
Yeah.
we
the
had
whole time.
one.
For one day.
And
And then
Ray,
the
you
other day.
you came back from this. Was this a one-day shoot then?
2 days.
two days.
And you came back from this with windburn and sandburn, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you,
I've
like, you
never had my
sand
hands in
your-
my pockets
you were-
harder in my whole life.
You were pooping out sand pellets.
It was
Like a weevil?
freezing cold temperature wise, and then there was some windstorm issues with like icy cold winds,
And just
and then a
sandstorm.
sandstorm that was going in the direction of our faces
But it doesn't look bad,
when we
does
did
it?
the wides.
Oh, that's great.
But
And I was telling them that Chris Mulkey and I, we rehearsed, thank God, 2 different nights when he got in to his hotel. And we worked on a lot of stuff. And then Minkie was great and worked with us. And so we understood the scene. But then the wind picked up and was making this crazy sound just where we were that was like, whoo, like a haunted house. And we couldn't hear each other. And there was a couple points where we just stared at each other's mouths and go, I think he's done talking.
But I remember looking around. I'm standing with Gordon at this portable director's monitor, and the sandstorm is really picking up speed. I look round, and the entire crew has suddenly got this amazing kit on: sandstorm protection,
Goggles.
visors.
When
the
we
whole
look over,
thing.
they were all in goggles.
That's
They're
it.
amazing.
And
That's an
that's
Albuquerque crew.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
Breaking Bad crew.
They
And
were set.
Gordon and I look at each other like, what there's
Yeah,
something we don't know here.
No.
And
yeah.
nothing stops them.
The more
Nothing
you-
even gives them pause.
The more
So
you're
is that being operated by people?
not
On day one. I don't know what.
I can't remember. I don't think it was operated by people. I think by then they'd gotten the motor working.
You know, we're very lucky with sandstorms because the sandstorm you're talking about really reminds me of the one which on Bob's first episode of Breaking Bad, when you're crouched in front of the grave on your knees, and there was so much sand. There was so much sand that you really were spitting it out.
Yeah, this was. I mean, Minkie said it too. It's in your eyeballs. It's up your
we had
nose.
that.
I had the medic every 10 minutes putting saline in my eyes just so I could see. It was just intense.
I was so excited to get to do one of these iconic, beautiful rides, though. And Minkie gave me the best direction here, which was just as simple as, in real time, I want you to figure out how to dig your car out, and to have the luxury of like doing that and doing that for real, and filming it and trusting that the audience is staying with your character was just really great.
This was a moment too that we were really we were trying to figure out how to button that scene with Chris Mulkey, the Billy Gatwick, to sort of give us a little bit more about Kim. And when we were talking about it, we're like,
He was
what
great.
would she? Yeah, and he's great, but we wanted. It felt like the scene wasn't kind of landing in terms of learning something new about Kim, and so we wanted to. This was what we came up with in terms of like, she's so driven at this point that she's not even going to ask for help to get her car out of the dirt.
Right.
What was amazing is, right, you wanted to do it all.
I did.
I mean, and you pretty much did it all apart from one shot.
Yes,
Yeah.
the amazing Heather Bonham, my stunt double. She did just that last frame where you actually jump into the car. I ran to the car, opened the door, got a leg in, but they would not let me pull the other leg in just because you could shut a door on your leg and insurance and all. But I so wanted to do it. But Heather watched me for a day and a half before she did that, and by the time she did it,
Brilliant.
she ran like me.
Yeah.
She walked like me. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
She was great.
That there's so much to talk about in that scene. We're never going to touch on all of it, but I just have to say
loved playing
again.
that scene.
I just have to say again, the beautiful physical acting that you did And
That's a great reveal.
it really is wonderful. And then here's
I love this scene between you and Patrick so much, Bob.
Is this about Chuck?
Who?
If you actually have business, then call my secretary.
Have you started merchandising those ties?
it's. I think we're going to have to. It's
We're working on it.
The Jimmy McGill collection is really pretty awesome.
Not that it's any of your business.
And Jennifer Bryan has brought back the knit tie
Yes.
single-handedly.
Yes. I believe that when she first started shopping for them, they were hard to come by. And now suddenly,
She said so, yeah.
Suddenly they're around everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, so now you're worried about the clients.
It's the right thing.
You two guys together.
Please. All you care about is your share of the payout. It's like talking to
I think Jimmy has a really good point here.
They
Just
both have
gonna
great
say-
points,
Oh,
and that's
yes.
what's great about the writing.
Yes, and by the way, fans of the show who are lawyers say that he's right. He's right that when you have old people in a suit, one of the things you change about it is you're more willing to
settle early.
settle it because they are not going to
We're gonna make it.
get to have the money that you're winning for them.
your best interests. And if we don't, what are you going to do?
At this point, Bob, do you think Jimmy has any thought about what he's going to do with Mrs. Landry?
Low enough to do something like
Or
that.
is-
Too damn greedy. You do any of that, you'll be jeopardizing your
I
paycheck.
think, Jimmy just goes through life
You'll get your damn money.
waiting for these chasms to open in front of him, and then as quick as he can, thinks of a solution that is not airtight ever.
But much
he
less
is-
premeditated, you think?
but still fun, huh?
And
But
good on
much less
his-
premeditated, you think? It's not like a big, long scheme.
He's not. No, there's no long view. But I think Saul though makes a longer plan, a bigger, longer plan,
That's an interesting point.
but more careless, more selfish. Anyhow, my theories on the character.
I like that.
But look at these guys.
Yeah.
It's also freezing in this scene. I was
It's
sitting in
freezing.
the
Is it?
video
Is
village.
it?
It's
Oh, utterly
freezing.
freezing.
This
Yeah.
is actually where we
the
put
rain.
Gordon up when he's staying
it's-
in
yeah,
Albuquerque.
I do.
It's cold rain.
I
too.
stay in one of the barrels that you can see in the background.
And of course, Mando's happy he's got a leather jacket.
I mean, Mark was very frightened about this scene, not just about the Spanish, but about it was bitterly cold. He didn't know if he'd be able to
Well,
do the
he's
4 hours.
an older man.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's
No, that's what-
genuinely
And
scary.
we've hired a bunch of
So what'd you
actors who
do?
don't speak Spanish.
We sent him back, changed his costume, put thermals underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he okay?
Yeah.
You can't do much about your face, though, as we figured out in that last scene with me as well. And you guys have been out in the elements much more than I have. I'm mostly an indoor cat, Kim. But your lips start to freeze. And
Yeah, you can't,
speak
properly. I know. You can't enunciate. Boy, he's fucking good.
he's so
at this.
good.
Yeah.
God damn it, he's angry. The thing is, he walks around with that anger all day. Now, Giancarlo, on the other hand, is actually not at all.
No, he will give you meditative, like beautiful spiritual talks and stuff in between.
Yeah, and Margolis is genuinely, he could kill someone. So funny.
Gonna kill us all.
I love watching Giancarlo find the nuances of who Gus Fring was just a few years before. It's not this huge leap, but it's not where he ends up.
It's just fascinating to watch, no matter what's
He
happening.
is.
It's with all you guys, and it's something you kind of learn almost second by second in the editing room, is that we see so much on your faces from moment to moment, and there's always something interesting to cut to. In fact, one of the problems in the editing room is often you want to be looking at everybody. You want to be seeing everything that's happening. And this scene also was shot with the Varicam that we've talked about in other commentary tracks.
Yay!
Here we are, small.
Those shoes.
Yeah.
MBTs.
Are those hard to walk in?
They don't make them anymore, I think. Right?
Are they comfortable?
They do.
No,
These
they're
are,
a
but
joke.
we went back. They do make them, but we went back, I think, to.
They're not.
The Rocky heel toe
Anything.
does not look comfortable to me.
But Bob, you were so lovely. You made sure that Jean had them in advance so that she could test them and feel comfortable in them.
Well, I like these ladies.
Yeah,
They're
I know.
all super awesome.
You were amazing
Jean
with them.
Efron is an outstanding person, besides for being a great actress.
MBT actually asked for this clip on their website.
No.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Well, we appreciate them helping us out with the shoes. This is so funny, guys, to do this phony baloney.
It's so ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Are
Hi.
you kidding me? I'm
Okay,
just,
what's going on?
Who doesn't love the Mohawk? Look at the suit he's in.
And the red
So-
headband.
When we do stuff like this, Peter, do you guys have conversations about? Because I'm thinking, how I would like to go just another 15% further into stupidity. Just because, but you must think.
So
like,
the tone meetings are just about reining you in. Is that what it is?
Just the opposite,
I know,
Bob.
in my brain, the tone meeting in my brain is about you can't go that far. But like this, look how cocky he is. Yeah, sure, laughs. Huh? Hey,
I'll tell you, that
just
used
easy
to
going.
that used to worry me. It worried me about Saul on Breaking Bad. It's
Right.
like, is this tone going to work with the rest of the show?
Right.
That was always something that I was worried. I'm not worried at all anymore because it's just our world and it works.
It
and,
does.
And I don't feel like you've ever put a wrong foot ever. This is so ridiculous.
So
And yet
what
it
about-
feels effortless.
Yeah. I mean, Vince even left that thing in where I leaned on the soda machine in the first,
Oh, that's so great.
which I thought,
I
as
love
fun as it was to do, and it was super fun to do, there's no way it can stay in. But I thought it was fine.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, we are so lucky to have the latitude we have to do comedy right next to.
We're so lucky
Yeah.
we have actors
Yeah.
that have
That
that,
can do it.
affinity. Yeah. And,
I don't,
Obviously,
and are
we
that
wouldn't
agile.
be here. We wouldn't be here if you weren't here, Bob.
Well, thanks.
If you hadn't been started on Breaking Bad, none of us would be here right now.
and this guy
Yeah,
is so,
so great.
great. This,
I was so happy about that.
What
we
is
were
that
able to-
clip, Gordon?
That is Night of the Hunted.
Hunter.
No, Hunter.
Night of the Hunter.
Sorry, different movie.
yeah, Mitchum.
Yeah, Robert Mitchum explaining the story of love and hate, the tattoos that he has on his knuckles.
The only movie directed
It's
by
all
Charles
from
Lawton.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
And it's so good.
So
Did a
good.
great job.
Feels very appropriate. This montage, by the way, I want to give a lot of credit to Skip McDonald, who cut this episode.
Wow, Skip.
Skip is just a one-of-a-kind talent. He's amazing. But also, Minkie just shot the hell out of this.
Yeah. Coming out of the faces of the ladies in the mall with the color into that ball rolling in. I mean, it was really something. This is an amazing piece of editing.
Now, I heard a story about a balloon.
Yes.
What's the story about the balloon?
Because I wanted those transitions as much as possible so that, Skip would have the ingredients to then play. But there was this whole issue with our art department that those kind of things didn't really exist in the mall. And I was like, just fuck it. You know what? At this point, it's not about reality. It's about the montage.
So you had a blue balloon up in the mall
Yeah,
that
which-
matched a blue.
Billiard
It's the
ball.
number 2 billiard ball. Yeah.
But the timing of getting lovely Jean to walk through at the same time that the camera, it was...
I didn't even know you were doing that. I was no help on that day.
It's
The music is also
The music is
wonderful.
awesome.
And
And
we
the
have
upbeat music, yeah.
we have Ann Harper running the yoga session here, who is Rich Sickler's wife,
And
our
an
AD.
incredible masseuse.
And
Massage therapist.
Indeed.
Yes, she is.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't know that.
Hey, look at the big picture. Oh, man.
This is a great
Love it.
advertisement for chair yoga, I think.
It is.
I would do it.
Poor Gene.
Oh,
Jennifer
God.
Bryan's costumes are so great.
They are.
They won't even talk to her.
It was a real
Look at her kitty cat swing.
challenge to try and shoot 4 days with senior citizens, having to get them to change costumes within a 2-hour time frame that we were allowed in the mall. But we did it.
You had to be in the mall
so
for
this
an
took-
ungodly early hour,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
4 days to shoot.
2 days.
2 days.
2 mornings.
But you could only shoot till 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why we had to do it over
Yeah.
2 days
Started like
because we
4.
didn't have enough hours.
Did you really?
I think we had a company move almost every single day of this shoot, and some days 2.
Right.
So, which is it's a lot.
It was a
It eats up a lot of
challenging
time.
show episode. Minkie, wow. It's amazing what you did.
Thank you, Bob.
This scene. Who plays his dad?
This is Giancarlo Cantu, and he
so
is
He's so good.
amazing.
I love him so much.
these two guys, Michael and Giancarlo.
Michael is just beautiful and brilliant in this episode.
It was really interesting because Michael's instinct was to walk around and be very animated, and we had a long chat with him. We took about 45 minutes during lunch to just sit with him and Juan to just talk about stillness.
He's so powerful when he's still.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. And once he embraced it, he went with it amazingly.
Yeah, we had a long, slow lead up of him getting that milk and coming in, and how he was in the space, which was great. But we didn't have time. The episode was so long. So, but it was great. It was that stillness, sort of him moving slowly through this space and coming to rest.
It's painful to get these episodes close to time. Because there's just so much great material in them. This scene, it's an interesting scene for us because there's no ironic subtext.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing funny about it. It's very straight ahead. It's a very honest, straight ahead scene. And we have a run of them in these last couple of episodes where there's a lot more honesty than we're used to having. And I think it's really beautiful.
But hopefully, it feels like we've earned it by this point. Like that was when we were talking about this scene. It was like the bill has come due. He's got to have this conversation that he's been avoiding for a long, long time with his father. But the only way to do it is to do it straightforward. So
there's something, and of course, Michael is not a Spanish speaker, and I'm not either. So I can't talk about his Spanish, but
and
I
neither
can
is
say
Mark Margolis doing Hector. The commitment both
Or
of them
Giancarlo.
have when they're on set, or Giancarlo.
yeah.
Their commitment to the dialect coaches and studying and not just wanting to speak Spanish but speak Cuban or Mexican or street is just phenomenal.
And our apologies to Spanish speakers if we miss something or mess up. But I think this particular scene is especially.
I got to tell you, I
terrific.
couldn't help but think about Michael and his real dad.
Yeah.
Because his dad is a huge presence in his life and has a real amazing story. Michael's life story and the dad's story, the way the two stories and the way they come together is really powerful. And it's a big part of him. And so this scene, I couldn't help but think about everything he's told me about his dad. You guys should ask him about it.
It's really interesting you say that because he got so emotional.
Oh, yeah.
And I kept on asking him to hold back.
Mm.
Well,
he
it's
said-
really true. I mean,
Yeah.
I think his father, if he was to really disappoint his own father, it would be the worst thing in his life.
I actually had him have paper towels in his lap so that he could wipe his tears because he just couldn't help himself.
Oh,
And
yeah?
it makes a lot more sense now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great story, and I would love to tell it, but it's his to tell. You could ask him about it when he does tell us a little about your dad or something, because it'd be something to hear.
I'm always happy when Audrey Moore is
love
in
her.
the show. She's just
And here comes Fabian hearing not what he expects. It's so great.
he's retiring. He listened to me. What a good guy.
I believe this scene was shot at night, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
We had to shift things around a little bit so that.
This is one of our problem spots.
Yes.
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 But you'd never know. I mean, it looks
Steve
perfect.
Latecki, our gaffer, had to
All
make
right,
some
so
magic.
this is Fabian's Emmy episode. It is, right?
He's got a great scene in 10, too.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's going to have to
I'm
choose.
back to normal.
Hi, look at me stirring. Look how normal I'm stirring.
I love watching this. This makes me laugh so much.
So good.
Father was working in a 2-room office when I joined him. And I tutored for the bar exam. You're not kicking me out. If you can't trust my judgment, as you say, so be it. But you're
It's not going to take anything lying down.
No.
Like,
No.
amazing.
And as
just
usual,
love it
they both have
landing
a
on
point.
Yeah. Just I love what Patrick does here.
You'd rather tear down HHM than retire.
You think I'm trouble now? As your partner? Imagine me as your enemy.
The mixer.
But he was so reticent to using that mixer because he just can't deal with props when he's dealing with something emotional. I said, just try it, just go for it, because it's such a great addition.
It's so good.
And you can see that little scar on
And I
top of
love
his
that
eyebrow.
he planned, that he's been waiting to do this little show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That
I had a
includes
glass of wine. I'm so relaxed.
includes the
I'm just going to
mixer.
emulsify. He's so specific. I love it.
And he calls the service to take the pots off
Right?
the stove.
Using one of his therapeutic techniques.
That's right.
A real technique.
real
I
technique,
understand.
yeah.
That was Heather Marion's discovery, that technique. And boy, it's been playing great for us.
Another bit of
I was
visual
fascinated
effects
by
there.
the science behind this scam.
Yeah.
Who came up with it in the writer's room?
We never know. I couldn't tell you. We
Okay, it was just
talked
like
about ideas and like how you would do this,
Oh, okay.
or how you would do some version of this. We pitched out.
This is a tricky one,
Yeah.
guys.
When in doubt, use a magnet.
Well,
That's
I
our,
thank
that's
the
our, that's our
audience.
motto.
It was
the
not an
audience for
easy.
being part of this
Yeah.
storytelling.
But the magnetic paint part of it, I mean, that ball there is actually just coated on the inside with the magnetic paint.
Really?
that
Oh, wow.
They,
It's
or
pretty
like
strong.
Yeah. So
I always had in the back of my mind that this was a scam that Jimmy learned from somewhere, maybe.
I would
This-
think
this-
so. It
this-
doesn't seem like he would have
seems like
invented
an old,
it, right?
Seems like an old car
That's a
trick or
nice
something.
choice right there,
Oh, it's
Minkie.
beautiful, Minkie.
Transition.
Back to our beautiful bingo hall.
Yeah. Another great cutting sequence here.
Now, we had a room full of senior citizens who, on the face of it, we were told would not be able to hold the day. But Bob, your constant
Badgering.
patter, it just sold it.
What?
They didn't leave.
What?
They all stood there. They stayed with us for the whole day. Thanks to you.
Well, they're all great
Another great
people.
shot.
I've worked with many of
I
them
love that shot.
more than once. And if you tell people what's happening, I think with filmmaking, the hardest thing is the repetitive nature.
Mm-hmm.
And if you talk them through it, then they can feel like they're part of it. Oh, that lady is so funny. What's her name? Is it Phyllis Applegate?
And this
Phyllis
is
with the wig,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Phyllis is so
and
funny.
this is-
we have Christopher Hagen here as Big Paul,
Oh, yeah.
who auditioned for us many times through the years, and he has such a great face.
His
he did-
excitement was kind of extraordinary. I loved it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's not the role I thought he would win, but he
no,
did.
no, but it worked for him.
So there's Kelly Llewellyn, who also was introduced to us season 1.
yes.
She's got a wonderful deadpan humor.
I had one of the scenes I'm most proud of ever on the directing side is Bob's
Oh, right, the
breakdown,
monologue.
breakdown
Yes.
at
That was
Bingo,
great.
I loved it.
which was really a highlight of my filmmaking life, and so it was so much fun to see Bingo back.
Yeah.
and to see it's also so horrible because Jimmy's taking something that really was positive,
Yeah.
that's good, that he's using his abilities in a more or less a positive way, and now it's all kind of curdling up.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch, but there's also a sadness to it, to me anyway.
Yes, very much so. I love the line, I sold my soul,
Yeah.
Yes.
because it meant very little to me when I did it. But then in the context of this moment,
And we have the woman who acts as the director at this actual facility, playing a background role
Oh, yeah?
for us, which is nice.
And we had a lady that would just celebrated her 100th birthday.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
really?
right.
Yeah.
Minkie, how many freaking setups is this scene?
Yeah.
How,
A lot.
how long did you guys take to shoot this?
Bob,
is
you were game. Because it was a big ask on you, wasn't it?
I guess so. I don't know. That's the show. This is what the show is.
I know that I was shooting on the last episode, and you guys were doing a separate set with just the balls
Yeah,
and the
we
machinery.
We couldn't fit that in.
I think it's a shrewd question you ask, Ray, because
It looks like 1,000 setups.
This is a very complex sequence, and I think one of the things that makes a sequence complex is if you're in the head of more than one person.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we're in Jimmy's head, we're in Irene's head, we have all these little interactions with Irene's friends.
Right.
It's just a hell of a lot.
Right. If it's only one, or if you're watching it from outside, it's simpler.
Yep.
Okay.
You have to kind of feel all the pressures of each of these different
But also keeping,
peoples.
yeah, exactly. Keeping,
look at that face.
Keeping
Ugh.
everyone else alive, keeping what they're thinking alive, but not being in their heads. But
Right.
you know what I mean?
And the only way we could make it work was to have 3 cameras that day.
You did
Oh,
have
yeah.
3 cameras?
Yeah.
Oh, I believe it. It's
Wonderful, Bonnie.
It came out great. Yeah, Bonnie's great.
It is a bingo for Irene.
It just meant that Marshall DP had to compromise slightly at times because we were having to.
Because you'd be in each other's frame?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fastest bingo of the night.
I can't even watch this. It just makes me
Heartbreaking.
I've gotten a lot of people saying that I must be a terrible person to my grandparents. I'm like, no, I like my grandparents.
Did,
You are a
Jenny
terrible
said on,
person,
Jenny
though.
I am
Hutchinson
a
said on
terrible
Twitter
person,
that
but-
Irene was based on her grandmother,
Yes.
right?
Well, the name comes from it, yeah.
Oh, the name.
Oh.
And I know she loved her, and she just passed away. She said that on Twitter, so I can say that.
This is, I think, one of my favorite scenes we did this season. It's just awful.
This must have been a very nuanced thing to direct, Minkie. There's a lot of different ways you could play this scene.
Yeah, and I think for Jean, she was very. She didn't want to go there. She didn't want to get emotional. She struggles to get emotional, but I felt that she needed to at this point, that we'd pushed her that far.
All of them.
What? No.
Yes. They're so cold.
Now we're watching the scene, which proves
Yeah, I know.
something. It just
It's riveting. And
so
Bob, you're so
sad.
good in this.
Jimmy is such a shitheel here.
Yes, he is.
But for some reason, I can't take my eyes off him, and I think it's because of you.
Well, he
It's
does
just-
feel bad for her. See, you can see he.
Yeah.
Am I doing this?
Yes,
Am I really going to do this? Also, what he says here is a gentle way and a kind of lot. He's using the truth.
Yes.
Maybe they need the money.
Oh my God, you're
I mean,
fake. Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
This is something that I find so interesting, especially about this season. There are all these moments where Jimmy and Chuck, too, use sincere emotions in an insincere way.
Right.
And
Oh, yeah. Good
especially this scene, and especially episode 7 that you have with the insurance lady. There's just it's you can't quite see what's real and what's not.
Right.
It's fascinating.
But on this scene, Bob, we actually did 2 versions. You did one where you did play it very sincere, and then we did one take where we played more with seeing.
I don't even remember that.
That you could see the scheme.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Something else I think coming up here that I like that's happening with the character as we've gone on with it is that it's like Jimmy steals things from everywhere. He steals costuming, he steals lines from people, and then says them in a different context. So when he tells her to listen to her heart, that's what Howard told him in the pilot.
Yes.
And so he takes these little things and then retwists them and makes them his own.
He's like a magpie.
He is.
This is it.
Oh, jeez.
Fake thinking.
Fake thinking. That's great. The layers there are pretty
Oh my
impressive.
God.
And it looked like you're still holding a cat prize.
I am.
Yeah.
That's amazing too.
Oh, binders.
The binders.
Oh, those binders.
This was a complicated just to figure out
Oh.
how all of this laid out in the room, and there were so many moving parts, and it had
And
to just
realistically,
come-
and the timing.
Yeah.
On the resets, it was just.
Because we do have such lovely fans that will freeze frame a scene. Tina
Yeah.
Parker and I were over there trying to figure out exactly which. I tell her something's missing.
Which I really think she should probably be fired for, but It's fine.
Well, she's getting coffee, so.
Not a problem.
Hey, who's ready to have her life changed?
Little Severo and Yehu.
Yes. Soon available at a liquor store near you.
That's how strong that shit is. It changes your life.
Yep.
It's true.
Change the direction of your life. Drink our tequila. We can't promise it'll go better. It's just going to go in a
Something
different
different.
It'll
direction.
change
It'll be
one way or
different.
another.
Don't you have a bottle of that, Melissa?
Always. Yes.
No, like the original.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's kept in a vault. It's a precious item.
But they can't be settling. Class actions don't move that fast.
Didn't George Clooney just sell his tequila company?
Yes.
He did.
For
For like
apparently
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yes.
Don't you think that's on our minds?
Why is that? What?
It's delicious.
What?
Celebrate. I can
It's insane.
pulled another all-nighter here, you know?
I love how Kim handles him here. She's such an adult.
Who's got 2 thumbs, a bottle of Zafiro, and 20% of the
But her ponytail is split, so nothing good can happen.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
But that was a very conscious decision by
Yes.
Hair.
It's always conscious if it involves my
Yeah.
ponytail.
Yeah.
What does the ponytail tell us?
It's
Just
it's
not-
unraveling a bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Get it?
already late. What's 5 more minutes? So drive 60 instead of 55.
Bob, you and I had a good time playing this though. Like, on what level is she taking him in and spurning him? Because they, again, because of the deftness of writing, both people have a point.
And just say them to me later, okay?
He's like, give me 5 minutes. She's like, I'm freaking working. Why don't you help with that? Why don't you carry these binders,
Well, you're a jerk.
a-hole?
for not having fun.
It's the biggest moment of his life.
Well, he thinks he solved all their problems.
This is
But Kim definitely thinks there's something weird about him saying they settled.
yes.
Yeah.
And so
It's what I like about how you guys played
40.
it is there's definitely it's a fight that you just had, but it's so compact
Right.
that it's not yelling and screaming at one another, but just around the edges fraying like the ponytail.
It's the
Yeah.
worst,
I
probably
love
the
that.
worst fight we've ever seen them have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a
am I on the
very
flatbed here or am I driving? Because we did
interesting
both.
choice.
Flatbed.
You get a substantial payment.
Very interesting choice, and I think effective. You guys are happy with this. Did you
Look at
talk
Sherry
about it a
Montesanto.
lot?
Look at Sherry Montesanto's makeup too.
Yeah.
The subtle like fatigue.
Yeah.
But yes, talk about the direction and choices here. You guys
I mean,
did such a good job.
I can't take credit, sadly. It was Peter, you came up with this idea of never ever seeing the crash and just going for the match cut.
Well, this is something that something in the writers' room. We had talked about how to show a crash, and we don't like to put everything into the director's lap, but we wanted to do it differently and subjectively.
Also, that you could feel something was going to happen, which is so weird. Just a testament to the whole show and the rhythm of the show, and
I
the
think it's
notion
about
of
the
that
rhythm.
silence made
Yeah.
you go something
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about Sherry's work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She researched the hell out of that. What kind of burns you get from airbags.
And this shot is just
It's so
spectacular.
beautiful. And this car is really trashed, you guys, for people listening, into a fake boulder, correct?
Yes.
But on the real side of the road, being held on by a cable, and the angle is quite extreme.
Yeah, this was on the edge of being. It's done very safely, but it could have been dangerous if it wasn't done so professionally.
But it was days of prep. There was
Yeah.
days of wrecking, scouting, and
I think there's
And Joe, our special
yeah,
effects, is in that
in
back
there.
seat, crouched down.
helping the papers get out of the
Perfect.
trunk with the breeze. There's a fan offside.
That's actually a road Walter White drove down many a time, way back when.
Whole 2 miles from our stages.
That's
Yes,
right.
indeed.
What? That was a
That's
hell of
Well
an
done.
episode.
Well done.
Sure
Boy, it went
was.
It's a big
fast.
episode.
Oh yeah.
Went by
What's gonna
quickly.
happen? What happens in episode 10?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
No.
Can't be told.
Great. Great job, Minkie and
Great
Gordon.
Thank you, Minkie.
Yay.
Yay.
Yes. Excellent.
Well done, all.